Arriving at Tehran airport, I'm met by Amir and Nigar. As it is 6 o'clock in the morning, we immediately go for breakfast. We have a long journey ahead of us, travelling southwards through the desert to Isfahan. The white area in the distance is a dried up lake which has now naturally turned into salt flats. We have arrived in Isfahan and we are to visit a restaurant and museum that used to be the palace of one of the Iranian kings. So this is 500 years old?
200, maybe 300.
200 maybe. And the king of
Yes.
this of
this
Iran
house.
or king
Yes.
of this area?
King of Iran.
No.
King.
No, کل ایران نیست.
The king of Iran
Yeah.
lived here.
Yes. به تو شک ندارم، به اونا شک دارم.
So this was a very big castle once, or house,
Yes.
for the
Fort.
king.
Yes.
Very opulent. Ah, this is the king's lift. And the king had Wi-Fi as well.
Yes.
And this is the restaurant.
Yes.
So now we still in the same building, but we're going to look at the museum. These are for sale.
No. This
no.
museum is.
Oh, this is the
hands-
museum.
Handsbook.
Handcrafts. Yes.
راست میشه؟
Handcraft.
Craft.
Very expensive.
Very expensive.
All these carpets are handmade.
Ah, yes, this model.
After many miles and hours through the desert, we're in Mohammadabad, so I guess I've found myself right here. Well, still in this village, Mohammadabad, in the middle of the desert, we found the hotel. It is actually an old castle which has been modernised and turned into a hotel. If you look carefully at the walls, they're not made from brick, they're made from straw and clay.
اینوری چپ راست.
I guess this is the courtyard. The well. Is it?
آخریه دیگه.
So where are the rooms?
باشه.
Well, here is my room,
Yes.
and as you can see,
Yes.
I have a lovely comfortable piece of floor to sleep on. This is the old traditional way. Seeing that there's no shower, no bed, no washing facilities, no TV, no Wi-Fi, they're actually going to look for another hotel from me.
Morning, Clyde.
Morning, Amir. It's a big room. We now have changed our lodgings and we're staying in the apartment of one of Amir's students. At last I have a comfortable double bed, but my room is shared by a big friend sitting on the end of it. It is evening and we are making for a place in the desert where they buy and sell horses. This is to give me an opportunity to go horse riding in the desert.
فروختی؟ من فعلا هم
They
یه دونه.
sold all of the horses.
بگو.
Now they have just this.
بهش میگم خرید.
I feel I have to be very careful here. The horse is quite agitated. After I returned, I found out why the horse was agitated. I was told it was pregnant. We have stopped for some food. The Iranian boy is very happy to meet his first English person. Back in our apartment, it is time for some training. But photographs come first.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. First timing. There was funky Chinaman from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them up. They were chopping them.
The day of the seminar has finally arrived. I do get a bit of a shock when I go into the hall. There are about 100 people there. It is lunchtime on the day of the seminar and we go to a farm in the desert to have a barbecue. But first we visit the orchard to pick our own grapes, apples and pomegranates. Oh, thank you.
نگار
Hey.
بیا اینجا.
Merci.
This is where we'll be eating, and water is pumped up from the ground. While we wait, Nagar does some chisao with one of the other students.
آفرین منتظر ما نستا. نه تا.
It is time to go into the farm's fields to pick our own tomatoes.
نه دیگه فردا دیگه من خودم گفتم دیگه غروب انجام شما رو میشناسم دیگه خودتم
The barbecue was very enjoyable, but we discover we have some uninvited guests.
They all have
The next day we take time to look around the town of Mohammedabad, visit a mosque and revisit the castle that was turned into a hotel. Some of the buildings are hundreds of years old. We are now entering one of the local mosques to have a look around. After finishing at the mosque, we are now back at the castle turned hotel to look around and view the museum. You can see there are two types of knockers on the doors. One is for women and one is for men.
سلام.
Salam.
فارسی هم یاد گرفت سلام.
همینجا هم.
It is now evening and we are crossing the desert to climb a hill so we can have a good view of the desert and mountains. In the evening the colours are beautiful. And here we are sitting on top of the hill, chilling out and looking at the view. We are now travelling westwards for a visit to Isfahan. We're now in Isfahan and at a friend's house of Amir's. It's a very big house. We'll be going to the kitchen. You can see it's a very big kitchen as well. We spend some time relaxing, talking and eating nuts and fruit. The cool of the evening is coming and we're making our way to the centre of Isfahan city. We have decided to make our way towards the famous Isfahan square named Image of the World Square. It was originally built between 1598 and 1629. It is also referred to as Shah Square or Imam Square. The Shah Mosque is situated on the south side of the square. Ali Apu building.
Ali Rapu building.
And this is a temple? Or? We are now going to enter the Shah Mosque.
It is near 400. It's from 400 years ago.
اون فاصله گنبد و اینا رو گفتم.
با ساختمان‌های
گفت که یوسف جان تو کلید پیدا نمی‌کنم. گفتم به قرآن رفتی طبقه 5 بود و طبقه 6 رو یه نگاه کرد.
Exiting the mosque at one end of the famous Isfahan square, it is very impressive just how large it is. It is actually 160 metres wide by 560 metres long. Having walked the length of the square, we enter the Isfahan Bazaar, one of the oldest and largest bazaars in the Middle East. We stop for tea and view the bric-a-brac artifacts from past ages. This very much reminds me of Rasht last year. It is the next day and we're exploring the famous bridges over the Zayandeh River in Isfahan. The Zayandeh starts in the Zadkun sub-range of the Zagros Mountains. It flows 400 kilometers eastward before ending in a swamp, a seasonal salt lake south of Isfahan city. These days, as you can see, there appears to be no water in the river. This is because the government have rerouted the river so the water can be supplied to the various farms around Isfahan. Onto this particular bridge you can whisper in one corner and the person on the other side can hear you very clearly. Especially for 500 years ago. It is now time to leave the desert and Isfahan, and we're making our way many hours up north past Tehran through the Alborz mountains to Rasht on the coastal plain of the Caspian Sea.